Have you been knacking a lady before and suddenly she farted? Like, have you been making love with your woman and suddenly she gave this puff sound? See, because some women will literally be farting from the beginning of the enjoyment to the end of the journey. And sometimes you begin to ask yourself, what's the reason? Because some of these puffing sound used to give out some bad smell. Like some men will literally have to cover their nose. Oh, I mean, be doing their thing. And you understand? And be banging their thing. They want to collect enjoyment before any other thing. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining the reasons behind that makes that puff sound, because I know many of you have asked me that question. Chichi, why is it that anytime I'm knocking some women, some of them will be doing giving a puff sound? So if you know that your woman always give out those puff sound anytime you're knocking her, then this video is for you. Number one is when that woman has a big butt. Her V down there is so big. When that place is very big, and not just that it's big, your trumpet, your joystick is now tiny. Now that puff sound is definitely going to come out, because the pressure from the rectum penetrating down there at that hole at the back potentially force out a lot of gas like air now. Now those forces that you are pushing in there will now force out air, and some of those air are not always a good one. You understand? It's not always a good. Some are smelling badly and some doesn't have any odor at all. Because recently my cousin brother told me that he's not going to marry that girl again. Oh. I asked him why now, why? Because this is a relationship that is about to be matured. Like, of course, this August should be their wedding or their child. And the guy told me no, he can't marry the girl again. Oh. Because anytime that he's making out with her, it's always a lot of bad smell, like this lady dey fat like a cow. Every moment that I want to touch her, it's coming out with a lot of puff sound that I don't think I will endure when it comes to marriage. So this puff sound, especially those ones that have an odor, it's not always a good one. Then the second reason why a lot of girls always fat when you are knacking them, when you are making out with them, a lot of girls always fat like this particular one. It will baffle you, because I know that most of you have seen it. When you give a woman doggy in a range of 80 to 100, most of them will always give her those puff sounds. She must fart like, oh, like she got to. 85% of the ladies that you nag, check very well, most of them give out a puff sound anytime you tell them to turn the back. Maybe turn the back, boom, you begin to see different versions of ringing puff sound. Now let me tell you why those puff sound comes out. Those sounds that come out when you give a woman doggy are called whiffing. You understand? Whiffing. And see, the reason why a lot of ladies whiff the moment you are giving them doggy is because you are going deep down. Like the penetration is very deep. You know how doggy is now. You are penetrating deep down. And because you are going inside her hallway very deep, a lot of air will be trapped inside. And when a lot of air are being trapped inside, she'll begin to quiff out a lot of sounds. Most are odorless, while some comes with a bad ooze. So anytime you're knocking a lady, giving her doggy, and she's kind of blowing out some kind of trumpet sound, just know that you have already trapped air inside there. And that's why that place is giving out those puff sound. Then the third reason why a lot of ladies fart when you are making out with them is when you are knocking a dry toto, when everywhere is not wet. Like if a woman is wet, she doesn't have any issue with she quiffing or blowing out any sound. But the moment what you are dealing with is very dry, is very dry, trust me, she'll be giving out those puff puff sound. You always experience this when you're knacking a woman that down there is dry and she's experiencing pain. See, when you're knacking a dry toto and the woman is experiencing pains, and those pains is accompanied with some odor, because there are some women you'll be knacking, you'll notice that down there is giving out some bad ooze, and those bad ooze, it does not end there. It means that that woman has an infection. See, infection can make a woman to be giving out puff sound. Literally, most of you do not know it. And that's why I said when a woman is wet, very watery, she doesn't have any issue with puff sound. Now, same thing applicable to this fourth one. When you don't change position, you're knocking a woman, you keep her on one direction, you don't change positions, you don't flip her, you don't turn her. Let me tell you, just know that she's going to puff. She's definitely to give you a quiffing sound, some sound that is not okay. That's why it's good to always change positions. You understand? That's why when people yoga or squat, you see them doing out puffing out sound. And let me tell you, when you puff out sound, that doesn't mean that you are not healthy. You understand? That doesn't mean that you are not healthy. Then finally, why so many women always give out a puff sound anytime, any day you touch them? Especially this one goes to women that have given birth. If a woman give birth through CS, yes, when a woman had a CS, the tendency that anytime she's making out with her partner that she must experience a puff sound is very high. It's very high. Reason is because during the process of cutting her, the CS process, sometimes knowingly or unknowingly, air might enter inside her stomach, and those air that enters inside her stomach doesn't have a better way of passing out again, and the only way those air usually pass out is when you are knacking her. So when next your woman puff out a sound when you are making out with her, do not be afraid. It could mean those reasons I listed out. Because I know one particular girlfriend of mine that was complaining to me, Chichi, I don't know what I can do to this my puff sound. Anytime my guy is telling me to bend over, I must puff. And the guy is complaining bitterly about it. One of these days, I'm going to teach you guys what you can do to prevent those puff sounds a woman farting all the time. But meanwhile, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you stay updated when I'll drop that video. So quickly like this video now, and I'll see you guys some other time. Bye for now.